Hello, it's day 53, and in our New Testament reading today, we're in Mark chapter 6. And we've got two key stories that we're reading about today. We've got the feeding of the 5,000, this most amazing, wonderful, exciting, happy miracle that if you were part of it, if you were there, you would remember it for the rest of your life, let alone if you were one of the disciples in on the action. And then there's this contrast with another miracle, which is as amazing, more amazing, I don't know, Jesus walking on water. And yet, even though at this point the disciples have been part of Jesus' ministry, they've seen him do amazing things, not least of all the miracle that has just taken place, their response when they see Jesus, they don't recognise him. Yes, he's walking on water, which is not a normal thing to encounter someone doing, but then equally the things that they've been seeing him doing have not been normal. And it says when they saw him walking on the lake, they thought he was a ghost, and they cried out because they saw him and they were terrified. And I've been pondering this passage for a little while and wondering how much their response to Jesus that day was affected by the account that we read just yesterday about John the Baptist being beheaded. I can't imagine what that must be like. This man who had such an impact on the society around him, people were flooding to be baptised by him, and then he's arrested and he's beheaded under Herod. And what kind of state that sent people into. For the disciples, where that left them, that feeling of instability, that feeling of fear, that the death hanging around them. And so I just wonder, and you have to bear with me today because I'm just wondering, and we can't know this for sure, how much of their fear was based on not who Jesus was and not what he'd been doing, but what was going on around them. This fear of being hunted down, the fear of persecution, the fear of death. And so when they see Jesus on the lake, instead of recognizing him as their miraculous saviour, the place that their mind goes to is it's a ghost. Death. Death is coming after us. And I think for all of us, when we read the Gospels, the God that we encounter, the Jesus that we see, the Jesus of the Bible is a God of miracles, a God of action, a God of the impossible, a God who loves beyond the imaginable. And yet how often do we respond to him not out of the knowledge of who he is, but out of our fear, out of our circumstances, out of our doubts, out of our feelings of loneliness and isolation, whatever it might be for us, how we interpret Jesus in the light of our fear instead of in the light of who he really is. And the fears are different for all of us. The fear that we could not be loved, the fear that we could not be forgiven, the fear that we could not be chosen, the fear that he has no plans and no future for us, the fear that he overlooks us, the fear of failure. Every one of us has got a different fear, and our challenge today is to fix our eyes on the God of love, the God of the miraculous, the God who is consistent, the God who cares. Let's look to him more than our fears. Have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow. God bless.